Welcome to Rose Gold Thread. Today I'm gonna make a bow tie shirt with lavender satin. This is what the final product looks like. This is a completely trial and error, trying something out kind of thing. I got the fabric for like $2 and I just wanted to see if I could get, I haven't sewn continuously in about 8 years, so I have to, refresh my memory on how to do certain things and whatnot, trying out the piping with bias tape or cutting the fabric in bias and all. And this was a really cheap fabric, but it was a beautiful lavender color, so I figured I'm gonna just try something out and see if I can get the gist of it. And then I'm gonna take it apart and then redo it with proper thread in the color and all that. So I hope you could bear with me for all the mistakes I'm gonna be making in this video, because I'm gonna be completely honest and show them. I've decided that I'm gonna start making a shirt with this purple satin fabric that I got and showed to you guys in a previous video. So I'm actually just going to use another satin silk fabric to outline the pattern for this one, and then once I have that ready, I'm going to simply cut them out based on this pattern. And I'm going to change a few things. I'm not going to do this little slit in the front here. I'm going to actually put that in the back of the shirt and go from there. So we have here the back piece. I'm going to have to iron this because it's been sitting here for a few weeks, and this is 2 pieces because there's going to be a line down the center that I'm going to sew, and then we're going to cut on a bias some strips like piping or whatnot, and line this section to close. This is the front. The arms are a little bit forward from just looking at this. It's got a bit of a different shape to it. Also going to use the piping type of thing around the armhole. I'm going to keep it sleeveless because I actually just did not feel like cutting another sleeve piece, so I'm going to keep it sleeveless, but I'm going to put like a trim around the outside of the armholes and then around the back opening. So this here is the collar piece that I'm going to be sewing. I'm just kind of pulling it so you know it's actually fairly long. It's about 1.25 meters long and about 20 centimeters wide. The reason I made it so long is because I wanted to be able to tie it like a tie or a bow or anything like that. It's going to be in the back, but I'm not going to be using any interfusing on this just because it's a little wet over here because I was trying to iron it, but just because I don't want it to be too stiff like a collar. I want to be able to tie it and wrap it like a scarf if I need to and whatnot. So first things first, we're going to sew this part here, the back, the middle of the back, and all the way down to the bottom. And then, so I've sewn the back down the middle. Now I'm going to use this bias tape that I cut out from the same fabric to line this section. And I'm going to show you when it's pin down the right sides together for one side of, so I've pinned down the right sides together for one side of the neckline. This, just like this, I'm gonna do this part first up to the middle, and then I'm going to pin the rest and do it that way. So after I've done that section there, I actually just went ahead and sewed the shoulders together. And then now we're gonna sew the bias tape on the armhole like that before we connect the sides. So the sides are all sewn together, and I am going to be taking this apart, the piping, and redoing it in a little bit. But for the time being, just to see the fit and everything, I decided to go ahead with the collar, and I've pinned together the entire collar with the neckline. And so now I'm gonna do so from the collar out, there's about a foot on each side of the fabric, the square, the rectangle piece that I am going to be using as the collar, or of course I didn't serge this and I have to use a zigzag stitch because I don't have a serger at the moment, but what would you call this? The tie, the neck, whatever piece it is. I'm about to sew it together with the neckline. So now after I've gotten the wrong sides together, sewn on the inside, I have to go and do the zigzag stitch on the inside here. However, no, actually I don't need to do that because this is gonna all get covered up. As you can see, this is the neck, this is the collar. It's the right sides together, not the wrong sides, so you can see over here. I now have the collar folded together, again, right sides together, and I'm gonna put it like this, and I am going to sew down this way and then down this line, and then we're gonna flip it over and do a stitch in a ditch. That's what it's called. I'm not very great at it. I might have to take this entire thing apart and then redo it again because I did make a ton of mistakes with the bias tapes, but for now it's just gonna be a trial and error, so let's get this completed. So that's what it looks like on one side, not all the way. Now we're gonna pull this inside out, turn it the other way, and then iron it. So when you turn it inside out, it looks like this, and then it comes all the way up here. We're gonna iron it, and then we're gonna stuff everything in and do a stitch in a ditch. All right, you guys, this is my trial and error project. It did turn out okay. It's long enough to wear with trousers and skirts and everything. I am going to take it apart and redo the piping on the side here with the bias tapes, and I'm going to have to get some thread that's the color of the fabric. This is a pretty cheap fabric, so I'm pretty shocked that it turned out the way it did at all. The neckline, however, I loved it. The only thing is I'll need to, again, take it apart and redo the stitch in the ditch with a better color for the fabric, and the sleeves, around the sleeves, I'd have to redo it. So it wraps all the way around and comes around, and as you can see, the whole situation over here needs to be fixed. I will fix it eventually. I just want to just cut this up and see. I mean, it was like $2 for 2 yards or 1.5 yards of this fabric, so I knew that it was going to be difficult to work with it because it's a bit cheap. But I might even put a little bit of interfacing in here first. So there you have it.